Hello, welcome back. We finally had our first fight, I guess, in the last episode. So we have one casualty, one injured between Tiger and Dragon. I guess we should really figure out what happened. After all, this was a life and death race. I had to run. Hey Mouse, are you alright? As you can see, Tiger is the one who is injured. Dragon, unfortunately, not so lucky. I'm fine, trust me. If anything, I should be asking you that. Tiger rubbed her eye and gave a pained smile. A bit after everyone had arrived, Tiger had woken up. She was in a lot of pain, but it didn't seem like there was any serious injuries. Is that good though? Because she could be the guilty party. The blow to the head put her out of commission for a few minutes. Because I mean, there's a saying, I believe it's history is described as the people alive to tell it. I think it's something like that. Basically, whoever's alive can lie about whatever they want, as long as the opposing side is dead and cannot retort it. We're talking about the hit to the back of my head. I'm fine. I've taken worse than this plenty of times. Okay, cool. You have? Stop getting off topic. You're not. You sure you don't know who did it? Okay, so she's not saying Dragon did it, which means Dragon was there and was killed, unfortunately. I tell you what I told you 10,000 times already. I thought there might be a minor trinket hidden in the nurse's office over there, so I walked over that front desk. Why did you leave? No. Why did you leave the guarding? That's just making you less credible. I'm sticking with Horse and Snake now, because Horse and Snake voted for Dragon to be on guard. I tried to look if there was anything, but nothing. But it's not like I was abandoning my post. You kind of did. If this happened, I was standing right there. Anyway, all of a sudden, at the corner of my eye, I saw someone moving quickly at me from the hallway. So I started to turn back towards them, but before I could really make a move, it felt a blow to the back of my head, and then there was that. Okay, so she saw Dragon. Dragon saw her attack her. She ran to save Tiger, and obviously paid the price for it. That's what I think happened. They must have rushed me with a metal pipe and knocked me out, but before I could realize what was happening. I didn't ask for a recap. I asked who did it. Ooh, Bunny's getting angry. I think Bunny's innocent. Snake could be guilty because he somehow showed up without anyone noticing, so he could be hiding there. If you saw them the corner of your eye, you had at least see some part of them. I didn't. Maybe I did, and but I don't remember it. Look, my head's still kind of messed up from the attack, you know. With an attack like that, it's not unreasonable that her memory would be hazy, especially at the point immediately before the hit. Fine. I just want to know who did this. More importantly, what's the damage done? Obviously, besides Dragon, there isn't any. Tiger still has all the trinkets in the pocket, and even though the sniper was brought out and fired four times, I think 3 of them were in the wall. All the weapons are present. Seriously? Unless there's a third personality that we do not know of. What a lucky break. It's not. This is not lucky. This is not lucky. Do not go down this thought process. Why would someone attack without taking anything? Obviously, they had to kill Dragon because Dragon saw who they were. So this isn't good at all. So what should we do now? Well, there's 11 people left. 3 more people die. Then the hateful can be as slow as they want. It may be crass, but I suggest nothing. What? Hear me out. I am, perhaps more than anyone, deeply wounded by Dragon's passing, because you two were partners. As you said, she was a deeply spirited woman, and her impact on the group will not go unnoticed. I hope the full extent of the law can come down on whoever killed her, and I am certain the police will be able to use forensic evidence to get an idea. However, as much as I am an idealist, I'm equally pragmatic. We mourn the dead for the living. Avenging her only does as much good as it does us. Yeah, and in a literal sense of speaking, this isn't that much of a setback. No trinkets were stolen, nor were weapons, and we need less for everyone to move equally. Tiger was caught off guard by and attacked, but after this, I'm sure she'll be on a high alert, facing the hallway and unmoving warrior. Perhaps she even she can even proactively arm herself with a pistol. I see no reason why this horrid assault should disrupt our plans. Hence, we should go back to searching for our lifelines, the minor trinkets. Makes sense. It does make sense, Snake, but you could have easily. You're pretty suspicious. I trust you so far. Hold on. We can't let that happen. We can't. I don't want Tiger guarding the weapons anymore. In fact, I don't certainly feel comfortable with letting her walk free. What? I'll be blunt here. Okay. Tiger, I suspect you for the murder of Dragon. No. Well, it's possible, but I trust that you're innocent. Well, this is certainly an interesting turn of events. Do go on. Leaving this lobby, there are 4 main routes you could take. After hearing the gunshots, Mouse and I immediately started rushing down the staircase and got to the crime scene fairly quickly. Bunny ran from the classroom wing. Snake was running down the hallway that the staircase is connected to. The last exit is through the comms. However, there is a big window door leaving through the comms and quite wide open. When I ran down, I briefly checked that direction and didn't see anyone running away. To sum it up, there shouldn't have been anywhere the criminal could escape. The killer also didn't take any weapons or trinkets, even though they are likely someone affected by Brian's third round rule change. With all that in mind, I think there's a reasonable explanation as to who the killer is. The person who didn't or couldn't leave the crime scene. That'd be Tiger. Would it be though? Because we didn't, at least Mouse did not notice Snake enter. But if Ox is covering for him, that's totally ridiculous. It is likely. You can't seriously be suspecting me. I'm a victim here. A victim with a very fishy story. I can't imagine someone getting the jump on you like you claim they did. It's entirely possible you faked your injury to divert suspicion. Seriously? But when would she have wounded herself? Did we check? Did we do a medical examination? I know no one has the skill, or at least no one has claimed to have the profession to provide the answer to that skill. Ox, you're suffering from some serious case of victim blaming right now. You're supposed to be a cop, however, right? No. Bunny is the cop. Ox is doing his job, which is a prosecution to accuse how someone could have done something. Prosecutor. Well, then you should know you can't accuse someone without evidence. What's your evidence, huh? If you insist. Ox walked over to Dragon's body. Take a look at that map. Lamp, sorry. It is majorly bent, and Dragon's skull is practically caved in, so she wasn't shot. That requires a feat of tremendous strength, so it could have been a horse. The only person I think could have pulled this off would be Dragon, the victim, and Horse, who has an alibi in the form of sheep. Yes, fair enough. Yeah, horse and sheep do stick around together a lot. Yeah, that's true. Haven't you heard the power of adrenaline? If a mother can lift a car to save a baby, a murderer can dent a lamb to kill someone. That is true, but I feel like that is something to play with them. Like, I was going to say maternal instinct, but I think it's not just maternal instinct. It's just the situation of saving someone tells the body to go past its limits. So Tiger does have a point. Shouldn't a cop like you know that he's not a cop? Prosecutor. And yes, some extraordinary things can happen, but that's the exception and not the rule. It's also I'll also point out that despite your testimony, Tiger, you were found unconscious on the other side of the lobby. Can you explain that? I don't know. Killer must have moved me for some reason. That still doesn't prove anything. I haven't shown the most damning thing. He then picked up a form of the clipboard, which was sitting on the corner. It appeared to be some sort of sign-out sheet for the students. It had a few bloody flicks on it. And written in golden letters, Tiger is crazed. What's that? Ooh, is that another personality? I believe that's Dragon's last scribbles. After being injured, she hurriedly scribbled the last message to us. She wasn't able to finish it, however, because she was finished off by a lamp. No way, that can't be right. There's a Tiger. The evidence is stacked against you. Clearly, someone's trying to frame me. That is possible. To waste your guys' time. Mouse, you believe me, right? Well, I'm gonna trust Tiger. I trust you, Tiger. I don't think you could do this. I knew you'd believe in me. But Mouse, did you not listen to the evidence I just laid out? That's just it. It all seems too neat. Do you really think things are quite simple? Yeah, just think about it. If Dragon was shot and they saw her scribble, why would they leave it there? Things usually are. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to anywhere until we settle this. Fine. I'll just have to look around and prove Tiger's innocent. If you could, please do. We are a defense student. Things were settled. While the others looked around for minor trinkets, we'd investigate Dragon's murder. Ooh. We briefly went into the separate rooms and put our actions for the next round, and we returned to work. Don't try anything funny, Tiger. You're strong, but I've confiscated the sniper rifle, and there are 4 of us. I'm not going to do anything. Investigating a crime scene. Of course, the police officer's here to in a crime scene. I mean, I guess it's his job. It's never a fun time. You do this often? I guess you would, being a police officer and all. Yeah. So as a cop, what do you think? I think I need to see more. But there's a few oddities to the scene. That being 3 bullet wounds in the back, bullet holes, which would be means that Tiger was shot at, and that make me a few oddities of the scene that make me think Ox is being a little hasty. Let's try and look for anything that stands out of the place if Tiger was the killer, and see where we can make it. So where do we check first? The gunshots, obviously. So I heard gunshots. We all did, yes. What do you think about it? So the sniper rifle was fired 4 times. 3 of them were in the wall. Thrice is in quickish succession, and the 4th being a few moments later. I heard that. I mean, where did the gun fire? Surely we should be able to tell where the bullets went, right? That we can, and we have. Obviously, the 4 impact points. 2 against the wall on the left. 1 hit a nearby chair. and one hit the end of a metal pipe. Metal pipe. So none of them hit the victim or anything. Indeed, it's quite strange. So that also means they could have knocked out. They could have knocked out Tiger, killed Dragon, went and got a gun, and then shot. So the gun. So yeah, the time of the murder could be entirely wrong. We don't know how long people were knocked out. Do you think the pipe could have been used to block a bullet? I quite doubt that. I think it's more likely that the pipe was leaning up against the wall and was shot at and incidentally struck. But I can't completely deny a proposal. There wasn't much time between the shots and us getting to the crime scene, was there? No, there was not. Whatever happened to those bullets after those bullets were fired? There wasn't much time for anything else. As someone who not currently favouring the defence or prosecution of Tiger, I must say that those shots are the detail that sticks the most out to me like a sore thumb. It's the hardest to frame in any cohesive narrative. For that reason, it's either the most or the least important thing for the part of this whole thing. Well, thanks for that totally unhelpful, unsolicited advice, Nick. Keep being you. That I will. I like Snake and Mouse's. I think it's repertoire. Bunny's good on his own. I think Tiger and Dragon were a good pair to balance each other out. Sheep and Horse, good pair. Rooster and Monkey, I guess, were a good pair. Dog's good on his own. I think Pig needs to rely on Mouse, I think, to get along. We haven't seen much about them. Ox is good on his own. Yeah. It's interesting that the killer didn't take the gun with them. Maybe they were afraid to be seen with it. Yeah, it's true. I would have easily pointed out. True. They could at least take a pistol or the poison, don't you think? Or the grenade. I guess they must not have had enough time. No trinkets were taken either, though Tiger was unconscious. I was actually the last person to give her a trinket, so I know the number collected was 6. Okay, so we need 5 more. Ooh, actually no. Sheep could use 2 if she used her ability the turn before. Then there'd be 12 used, wouldn't there? So that would give us 12, yeah. Despite only being 11 players left. So all 6 are present. But wait, doesn't that erase the problem with Doesn't that raise a problem? Hold on. Yeah, I'd say the killer's location. Why would the killer attack Tiger if they didn't want to take? Wait, did I say intention or? Yeah, killer's location. Yeah. If they didn't want to take trigger weapons, it is a mystery. It's to bring us actually all there. It makes a little sense of it if the traitor is the killer, and it also doesn't make sense if Tiger is the killer either. It seems to me like not a lot is making much sense at all. I feel like I've been thinking that to myself a lot recently. Anyway, let's keep looking around. Let's check the scribbled notes. Most damning piece of evidence against Tiger would have to be the notes, right? No, because anyone could have wrote it. Then she probably focused on that, don't you think? Makes sense to me. Let's take a look at this thing. Walked over the corner, to the counter where the note was written. Indeed, it was easy to see how Dragon could quickly start scribbling on the sheet of paper with that provided a pen in a moment of desperation. But what did that happen? When did that happen? Let's go over the details of this note. Maybe we could help source the authenticity. This was a critical point. If the note was forged, Tiger was definitely being framed. If the note was real, Tiger would most likely is the killer. Those were the only options. Unfortunately, we don't have a sample of Dragon's handwriting to compare this to. If we did, that'd make our job a lot easier. However, the jagged writing and messy nature does suggest it was written quickly, in a fit of panic. The unfinished Z is a particularly very convincingly done. And while we're talking about Z, in fact, that it was unfinished does imply she was struck while she was writing this down. But again, if the killer was aware of Dragon writing this down, then it would they would leave it there. As to do the pattern of blood flecks, they're not in the middle of the paper, more spread a bit to the side. This is in line with where they generally fall if they came from directly below on top to the top back of the head in front of it. The angle of the flecks too, it's hard to fake. I'll go on the record and say that the blood at least authentically came from an attack happening right near the sheet of paper. That's not to say the writing's legit. It could have been forged. Hell, it could have been written after the blood got on the page. Exactly, Bunny. Wow. That was certainly a detailed analysis. Thank you, Bunny. This stuff's pretty standard for a crime scene investigation. Anyway, I think the existence of this note is the biggest mark against it. What do you mean? I mean, people aren't stupid. Do you think Tiger really wouldn't notice this writing down like that? And if she didn't notice, do you really think she'd... if she did notice, do you really think she'd leave incriminating evidence lying around? No, she'd trash it immediately. Convincing as the writing may be, I've got to say this whole thing is probably a scam. Probably. Okay. I made a note of everything Bunny said and continued onward. Let's check Dragon's body then. We are here to look at Dragon's body, right? We for sure have to look at Dragon's body, right? Well, it is a murder investigation, so that'd be sure handy. That sure would be handy. Right. The mouse and the rabbit. I'm not looking forward to examining a corpse. If you want, I could do. If you want, I could do the most of the examining. Yeah, that'd probably be for the best. Thank you. Bunny's so helpful. I'm glad Bunny has not died. I don't know if I'm biased towards him, but yeah. I'm not trying to be a baby or anything. It's just kind of, say no more. I used to be just like that. It's honestly probably disturbing that I'm fine with just looking at dead bodies as I am. Is that normal for a cop? Isn't that normal for a cop? It is. Doesn't make it any less disturbing. But I digress. Let's get to examining. When he approached the corpse and started looking over it, after a time he returned with a report. It's not really anything surprising in terms of cause of death. She was definitely bludgeoned to death with a single hit over the head with a lamp. I believe a lamp was previously sitting on the table on the left side of the room. Anyways, there was one detail which caught my eye. There was bruising on her neck. Bruising. Basically, she was choked out at some point. She was choked out knocked out, and then bludgeoned to death, so she couldn't have rode it. If she was choked, she couldn't have. And not with a tool, someone wrapped their hands around. And not with the tool, someone wrapped their hands around her and started squeezing tight. Horrible. Horrible, but also telling. Think about Tiger's strength. I don't think it's exaggerating when I say she could probably crush a human's windpipe if she really wanted to. She could. I'm sorry to say, but I don't know the strength needed for a windpipe crushing. You need a lot, but not more than Tiger has. So Horse and Tiger could have done this. The choking attempt definitely failed. That's no mistake. So I guess thinking that Tiger wouldn't have failed. Someone with average strength, like me, for instance, could easily try to choke her, but fail to let Dragon temporarily escape. If Tiger was if Tiger had her hand around that neck, she could just squeeze and it'd be over like that. It does make sense, but it's pretty loosey goosey when it comes to the evidence. That doesn't prove anything by itself. Was there anything else you noticed about her? No, that was basically it. Are there any other clues to be found here? I got it. We should check Dragon's tablet. A tablet? Yeah. I mean, why? Might be nothing, but it's worth checking. Instead of explaining, I walked over to the tablet and turned it on. Moved the information tablet over the screen. I wasn't expecting much, but oh my god, what? No way. I never would have thought Dragon was like this. What is it? Dragon had the hateful personality. What? Seriously? People started crowding around me and looking over my shoulder. Sure enough, it was written as plain as day, in the green text, for whatever reason. Why would she hide it from us? Was she scared we'd turn on her? I knew it. There was something fishy about that girl. Certainly makes me feel better about this whole thing. Snake! Does that make me sound crass? I suppose it does. But speaking factually, she was something of an inevitable casualty if we planned for the group to survive. In a sense, it makes her murder meaningless. Is probably the wrong word, isn't it? Yes, it is. Now, so let's get back to focusing on the investigation. I mean, yeah, it was a pretty shocking piece of news, but I don't actually know if it changes much. It changes things, alright, because it means the ambitious and the hateful could have targeted each other. The pieces were starting to come together. I just needed a bit more evidence. Okay, cool. Tiger's injury. I want to check out Tiger's head injury some more. Shouldn't looking into does that prove whether or not she made the whole thing up? I don't know about that, but it's worth looking into, though. Looking at the bits of blood on the end of the metal pipe, it's clear that the weapon, what the weapon was. It was the metal pipe. Hey Tiger, would you mind if we looked at your injury a little bit closer? Sure thing. Tiger sat on the floor as Bunny started inspecting her head through her head. Hold on, I need to read that again. Tiger sat on the floor as Bunny started inspecting her head through her head. Okay. I see. I can say one thing for sure, she didn't inflict the wound on herself. Okay, Ox, Mr. Prosecutor. You know, Oh, Ox and I do not have an alibi. Well, we do for the gunshots. But what if... No, that doesn't work. I was gonna say, what if when Ox and I separated, he went to kill Tiger. Dragon saw him, so he knocked out Tiger, killed Dragon, and left. Someone else came, picked the gun, shot, and left. This was a hit to the left back side of the head from a horizontal blunt strike with a whole amount of force. I don't know how you self-inflict that. Could maybe just hold it behind yourself, your head, and try swing. I don't think you'd get how much force I'm talking about here. It's possible she could have been concussed, but or even killed from something like this. It's literally impossible to get that sort of momentum just by moving your wrists and part of your arms. And it's only a single strike. So that's it. She's proven innocent, right? With this, right? I don't know about that. After all, even if she was hit, that doesn't necessarily mean she couldn't have gone on to the kill dragon and then faked being knocked out. However, it certainly makes it a lot less likely. A blow like this would absolutely send even someone like Tiger on her knees for quite some time. Someone like this is someone who's not afraid to kill. I guess it's just tricky for me to see a scenario where Tiger gets hit by this and somehow gets the upper hand. She'd be brought down, and even if she wasn't unconscious, she wouldn't exactly be in any fighting shape. She was found lying by the side left of the table, right? Yeah, the iron pipe and the sniper rifle were both lying nearby her. Say, what's that? Is that the pen gouged into a wooden table? I think you're right. The pen's stuck in there, sticking out. Who would do something like that? Well, it couldn't have been Dragon, so they would have had to... Yeah, so it's clearly more evidence that the note was forged, because they wrote it down, stopped writing, and then just stabbed it into the table. Who knows? Doubt it has much to do with this, anything though, I guess. I think that's pretty much everything we had to look for, or had to look at. Yeah, that covers the basics of the investigation. I don't know how much it covers up. Give me a second. I'm going to try and think about all the evidence and try and piece together a crime. Take all the time you need piecing things together. As for me, I'm convinced I couldn't be the culprit here. It's too many oddities. Seriously. You've been swayed by looking around this room. You better have found some conclusive and convincing evidence. I don't know about conclusive, but it's definitely convincing. It convinced me anyway. Did it? I'm sorry, but it's not substantial. I won't change my mind on this. Gosh, how much do you hate me? We don't hate you, Tiger. It feels like ever since you started suspecting me, you've got not let up on me whatsoever. He's a prosecutor. It's his job. You're just like a shark who smell blood. It must be your cop instincts that make you such a predator. He's not a police officer. Tiger, he's a prosecutor. For the last time, it's a prosecutor. You know, there's a real cop standing right over there. Yes, there are literally two of the different people. Tiger's right, Ox. You seem unfairly fixated on her guilt. She was clearly attacked, and you're blaming her. Even the note central to your case against her doesn't make any sense. It shouldn't be there. I'm not saying I know everything. But where do you propose the killer escape to? I already covered the possible exits, but he didn't exit. If not Tiger, the culprit would have either be you or Snake. The moment Tiger seems like less of a target, Ox moves on to the closest others for his next target. What a frightful instinct on this one. I don't care if I'm frightful, I'm trying to keep us all alive. You're trying to keep yourself alive. We can't trust Tiger. We can. Don't you see? The longer you waste on this, the less time you spend looking for more minor trinkets. So let's just stop talking about this already. Got it. What? I made my decision. After looking things over, I think the answer's clear. What's that? On the matter of Tiger's guilt, is Tiger the killer? I think we should answer this next time. Thank you for showing up. and I hope to see you on the next one.